We could start whenever you'd like.
All right, call to order. Can we stand for the pledge? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we got roll call. Chairman Jay Pankowski,
present.
Vice Chair Renee Wells,
Present.
Commissioner Eric Martin, Commissioner Mark Starrett,
Here.
Commissioner Fred Meyer,
Here.
and I'm Executive Secretary Adam Bocanegra.
Moving right along, verification of agenda posting, item 3.
The agenda for the Airport Advisory Commission of the City of Hollister meeting of September 22nd, 2021, posted on the bulletin board at City Hall on September 16th at 10 a.m. per Government Code Section 54954.2.
Item 4, consent to approve minutes of the Airport Advisory Commission meeting of August 25th, 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the Advisory Commission meeting of August 25th, 2021.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry. Do we want to, you have a few minutes? Sure. Yep. Line item 5, public input.
We have no public in the building and no public on Zoom.
All right, we'll go to reports. Adam?
So we report 6A is sign update for vendor. So on the last meeting, we spoke of possibly getting vinyl wraps instead. And from then that meeting to now, we found out there was already an agreement to use the current sign. And if you guys have seen it, it's up. They mounted it to the sign itself now, to the entrance sign. And it's on the paper that we sent with their, so the Cibrisas currently is up. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but this sign itself is only 7.5 tall by 28.5 long. So it's pretty short. The letters are only 1.5 by 2.5 letters. It's a little difficult to read in my opinion, for that size.
When
So-
was the agreement with the vendor?
So it was with the prior, so it was with Cheryl at this point. So she had agreed to with this stuff already. So this guy had this printed for the last meeting and it was misspelled. So when I went back to speak of, possibly getting somebody with a vinyl, he already had this one corrected and they had mounted it since.
Okay, because it's been several meetings that we discussed, we should have an option for the vinyl, and it was supposed to come back to us. It's kind of disappointing that it went forward without letting us know.
Okay,
I'd like a copy of that agreement
Okay.
to see when it was signed.
And on the Hollister Municipal Airport sign, the kind of the arrow sign to tell everybody, it's already outdated.
Yes,
The Skydive Center is no longer there.
yes.
So
So that's the picture I sent that's our current one. And then the other two pictures I have with that one are options of something we could do. So the first one, obviously it's showing terminals here. Yes,
Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry.
Did you want me to put it on the screen so at least Fred can see?
sure. Yeah, that was
That's the current sign you were talking about, right?
Uh, the email, yeah, the email Subriza one. So this
That's the one.
is the one, this is the outdated one we've been speaking of to try to get it updated. And that's the one I said we had to go to the planning department to actually see if it would pass something. So the two options I have kind of just ideas are the other pages on this. So the sign there is the current one and the other two are something we have options. Obviously, these are terminals here on the paper, but that would be businesses. So it'd be a 4-foot by 8-foot sign as opposed to this little sign. And we can actually put logos on that. This one here that's showing terminals on this paper. Or else the other one.
Well,
Would-
if you're gonna, I like the one with the terminals on it
Uh-huh,
instead of the 40 different
okay,
angles, degree
Sure.
sign.
okay,
But if you could put it on an overview of the actual airport,
okay,
that might help
okay,
to see what it looks like.
yeah,
Because St. Louis International Airport is probably the furthest thing from Hollister.
definitely. It's a big airport, so.
Yeah,
would be a
so
lot smaller.
if you do it on an overview, it doesn't have to be fancy,
But
but
like
just
a-
kind of representation of what you plan on,
Okay,
what you're thinking.
sure,
And then we could always take a look at the draft when it comes from the sign shop or before it goes to the sign shop.
okay. And that would obviously have to be passed by the building or planning department as well.
Well, I saw that Sabrina sign. It doesn't look too bad to me.
I think we'll have to pass it.
Did everybody hear me?
Yeah, we heard you, Fred.
Yeah.
So you saw it now?
You can read it, it's fine. I don't know what's going on, but
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of small. Is that, the problem is, you're saying it's kind of small?
It just looks small. I mean, if you want to put, so you can still fit 4 or 5 vendors on it, on each side.
Okay, so here's what it is. Is this what Sabrisa wanted?
That's what he agreed to. That's what we've found since the
Okay.
last meeting. And I've asked the business owner and he said the same thing. He said, yes, that's what he agreed to.
Interesting.
Do you have a fee schedule yet for?
Not yet. So I guess his was agreement and then he would agree to do whatever the price would be for whoever businesses are gonna add on there. So it's kind of an average. His was gonna be an example to begin with. To kind
Okay.
of,
So,
I
does-
have a question. How do I get rid of this thing that I'm looking at on my screen here?
Now Fred can't see you.
yes. I
is
believe so.
the
So-
Sabrisa sign at the top?
It's under the airport.
So
So the
the
airport
new,
logo and then the
So it's the
Sabritas
first sign.
currently. it
Okay,
is,
so
yes.
they
So-
have the option.
oh, I'm sorry.
I was just curious if other businesses had had the option. It doesn't seem fair to give Sabrisa's the first choice to put the sign at the top without giving
And from my
everyone.
understanding, they can be moved. So if that's the case, like you're saying, maybe Prime Realty, you can move up to the top, or that was an example and that's how they want to line them up. So,
There might be an FBO that might want top.
sure. Okay. Understandable.
You said there's not a fee schedule yet?
Right across
Not
the
yet.
top.
So he
And
was
lights.
agreeing to it,
Neon,
to
neon lights.
go with the fee that was coming with it. So,
Yeah, so you're not going to redo this until you come up with a draft of this that's on the actual airport. correct?
yes, And these were just ideas, and if that's what you
Okay.
guys agree to, we'll work more with this one
All
and
right.
do the map of the airport itself.
One note on that. So it looks like the one that we currently have, one of the problems is that the skydive center left. So there's no real good way to cross that out. So if we are to redo the sign, can we make it so that
Well, I think,
names are interchangeable, I guess?
I think what he's doing is he's going to change the sign over to this sort of a plot overview of the airport rather than just arrows everywhere.
Right. But if there's no arrows here, the sign still has, you can't get rid of skydive center.
You could get rid of it. It's a sticker.
Oh, it is a sticker.
So we can get rid of that, but it's still small. So we planned on updating it anyway to a bigger sign.
Got it.
So in the meantime, we're gonna remove.
I just want to
believe-
know if it would be interchangeable in the event that.
Oh,
we have,
definitely.
tenants.
Stickers, yeah. So
Yeah.
the locations would be the same. A business change or something, we can add or subtract.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mhm.
Just put stickers or slots down here for the different business names.
Speaking of California skydive, are they still running that building back there?
I believe so. Yeah, last I checked it. was.
Does Hollister Skydive have a long-term lease in that building?
I'm not sure in the term on that one. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not sure what the term is on that one. I can find out though.
Thank you.
Sure.
Anybody else with the sign update? Or can we move on?
Move on.
Moving on.
So we have the open house flying anniversary. And that you wanted to keep on from last time. There's nothing changed from that.
And that's
No.
for, when is it next year?
That's what I was going to ask. Do you know what the date is of the anniversary of the airport?
No, I don't actually. I can get that
Could
too.
we find out? I think
Yeah,
it was
definitely.
like March or May,
Actual
and
date. Yeah, I think it was March.
so
But
we
not sure the date.
probably
exactly.
have to start planning soon
If that were the case, yeah.
You probably want to make sure you don't plan it on a weekend like Watsonville Air Show
Yeah, and we would
or
coordinate
San
that too.
Martin or something like that, something that's gonna take people away from coming down here.
Have we established what we want to occur during that anniversary? And how far we can go with this, or if they could do.
It kind of
flybys or
depends on
something?
the timeline, I would think. So there's certain things we can't get in a timeline if we didn't start in December as
Yeah.
opposed to starting now. So we kind of would limit what we can do.
Some like flybys, are those allowed?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I can check with that though.
Now, I know you have to plan ahead for 4th of July fireworks.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, are you still, is the city or are you guys still kind of holding back because of this COVID or what?
Yes, as far as we know, we're nothing's in the works right now and we're,
So the potential for having another 4th of July with no fireworks or anything is there.
it's a
Because we're
possibility,
not
yes.
doing anything.
It's a possibility.
Right?
doesn't mean we couldn't have a fireworks show during the celebration.
Who knows? That's right. Just wear a mask. and You can do whatever you want.
Sure.
So we, CAL FIRE status update. So I asked them for the video of the Firehawk taking off and landing. They haven't got the video of the actual Firehawk taking off and landing. They suggested a video that they sent me from YouTube. And it doesn't do what we
should-
asking it for, you
yeah,
know?
It should really be specific to
That-
Hollister.
That here, yeah, and it's a video that's like basically an ad for the Firehawk itself. It doesn't do any justice to even bring it here, so I left that out, but I told him, I asked him if he can still get it for us.
Okay.
So I can show everybody here. So that's still in the works.
Well, I thought we were gonna look at the lease status with Cal Fire. I thought that's what I suggested. To move to the other side. Now, I know a few years back, Mike Chandler contacted Ana Caballero, and she was looking into getting funding for that, but I don't know what happened. So we might want to maybe follow up on that. Because they've been sitting on that land over there for quite a while. It's just a matter of getting funding.
So as far as I know, they have a lease on it currently,
On,
Cal Fire on the land.
on the new heliport,
No,
on,
west side.
yes,
on the west side.
and it's on the map.
But they're not paying any rent for it. They're not paying any rent for it. That land has been tied up by them for quite a few years.
Okay. I'll check into that.
And it's all laid out on the master plan, and the engineering is pretty well done, I believe. It's just a matter of booting somebody to get some funding from, for Cal Fire. Maybe we could contact Robert Rivas, someone Robert Rivas, and maybe Ana Caballero, Senator Ana Caballero again.
Maybe spread a rumor that we have another tenant for that spot. Put a little pressure on.
I'm sorry, what did you say? I didn't understand.
Said, well, they're not paying any rent. They don't have any deposit. They don't have anything to hold that parcel for them. So maybe we spread a rumor. We got somebody else that wants that spot and might light a fire under them, so to speak. Capiche?
So there isn't any type of lease or
Yeah.
agreement with Cal Fire for that?
I'm not positive on
Yeah,
that.
I don't know anybody that gives somebody an option for a piece of land that doesn't have to pay for that right, for that piece of land option.
Have they done any improvements specifically for Cal Fire to move over there
On their end.
on any end?
So what they have on that is that Brett Miller, the city manager, is actually working with Anna with something. I don't have details on that though, but he is working with her.
But for the Cal Fire deal?
Yes.
Well, the bottom line is it's on the master plan, so that's the bottom line.
Yeah, my thought was you put a sense of urgency on it. They're gonna move forward with it. 5 years from now, they say they're not. I mean, there's gotta be something that binds them to that property. They gotta pay for that right, for that piece of property to sit there, waiting for them. That's just general business. You know?
Yeah, I don't have any details on the legal status of this, but I know there's something, they're pretty well locked in on it until they do something.
Amazon might want that spot.
No, but Amazon doesn't plan on using the airport. Don't you remember? They
Yes,
don't,
does
you
not
know,
plan.
That's why they built it right next to it.
Yeah, that's the. But tomorrow they could though, so that's right.
Who was the guy that was flying around in the caravan?
Over,
Everywhere, yeah,
Yeah.
constantly.
I don't know if that was Google. They did it for quite a few
Oh,
days.
that's right, that's right. That was that remote control,
Reliable robotics.
yeah, whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
They based out of Hollister?
I believe they're based out of San Martin and they were just using the pattern.
It's Steve Lamb working on that.
Yeah, these items are not on the agenda.
Yes, move on.
Just curious. Sorry, Fred. Didn't mean to step on your toes there, big guy. Want to call the next one?
So the Rubino Hanger and the ends hanger status. On the ends, there's no tenant yet. It's not rented yet. On the Rubino, they had some holdups. So I spoke with the water department. They were there the other day. I spoke with them. So they have some underground work that they have to get done there. So
So it's not PG&E, it's water?
PG&E's in there, water, and I believe the storm as well. So they have to attach to that. That's what they're working on currently. And they were there today.
Okay.
So the water department has the curb stop up to the business, but they don't have a permit to get the meter from the curb stop to the business itself.
It
to-
says, he's paid rent since construction began. So did his lease start? His 30-year lease started when construction began or when he's got a final on the hangar?
I'm not sure on that one. Let's see.
I didn't think that he started paying until,
Well, according to the information, the handout, Tony Warner said he has paid rent since construction began.
He started when it began, yes.
So does that mean the clock's ticking on the 30 years or?
That's the lease. So he started paying that lease. It's
I
up.
would confirm that.
Yes, it is.
Because there might be a bone in contention of not being able to get a building final and being able to use the actual property that he's leasing. It could be a bone.
Got it.
don't have the information you're talking about.
It's in the meeting minutes from last time. Yep.
The minutes?
Yeah, the minutes from last time, item D.
Yeah, so the timeline on that one may be a little bit longer than what we're thinking, but they were working on it today. So I think they're back on track.
I mean, that's what's it been, like a year since construction
I think
began?
so.
Full year on a lease, you never know. In 30 years, that might be, they might want another year. They just said, hey, we paid rent, that's fine, but our lease shouldn't have started until here, when the building was final and they were able to use it. I
Okay.
don't know what kind of deal was struck with Brent, but you might want to take a look at that.
I'd like to backtrack to the Cal Fire status. Tony Warner, do you have any information on the legal status of all that, or could you look it up?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
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 Oh, okay. Can I backtrack just for 1 second for the lease for Sal Rubino? In the lease, it states he has so many months from the date that the lease was signed to the date that the construction, whatever comes first, it's either a year, 24 months, but whatever that is, it's already over 24 months. So now the full rent is due and he has been paying full rent since then.
Okay, so there is something specific to that issue.
Yes, there is in the lease.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What was the other question, Fred? I'm sorry.
Yes, on this Cal Fire status on the west side, I'm sure there's some legal contract somewhere. I know they locked in on that with some kind of a deal. And as I recall, they were going to pay something like $70,000 a year when they build there, but I'm not sure what the
That's
status
correct.
is.
Right now, Brett Miller is working on that and we should have an answer really soon. There are a lot of different type of issues building out there, taxiways. We should have I would say we'd have an answer in the next few months. What's going on? We might have Brett come to our next meeting maybe, and he can discuss it. Uh-oh.
That would be great, yeah.
Oh, okay, let's do that. I'll put a note to ask Brett to come to see where he's at because he has been dealing with the negotiations on that.
I know part of the project was that parallel taxiway that's now completed. So that was going to be part of the
Correct.
tie-in with CAL FIRE when they moved over there.
You're correct, Fred. You are correct.
So let's put that on the agenda for next meeting, okay?
Sounds good. Back on track to the airport manager.
Airport manager, that got approved by city
Wait,
council.
wait.
I just have one question about the Bob Ends hangar status.
That was,
That's still on hold, right? Is it not rented because of any issues or he just hasn't found tenants?
there's no tenants.
No
yet.
tenants. Okay, thank you.
So the airport manager, that was passed. The job was passed by city council, but it hasn't been posted yet.
At the last meeting, I think Fred asked that we be able to review that job description before,
That's
if
correct. At least look at it.
Okay, we'll get that.
you could get it to each of us so we could just take a look at it.
Okay.
Has it been posted yet?
No, it hasn't been
Okay.
posted yet. That's what, it just got approved, so.
Thank you.
No.
Any other comments before moving on to old business?
Just a kind of quick comment, maybe that ties a little bit in with the anniversary fly-in. Because we had talked about maybe if we went back and tried to have an air show again at some point. And so I, through Liz and stuff, I got some information and I left it in my office today. But I was under the impression that it was a money-losing proposition, but I never knew how much. And bottom line, it wasn't bad. It was like a $13,000 loss in the last year it was here. So with that in mind, we might think of in the future, if we were to go forward with another air show program, it's not a big loser. I've seen other losers.
Well, if you combine it with something like the bike rally.
Yeah.
Where you could share the expense a little bit and push it a little bit off on them.
Yeah,
And it also, shit, you're gonna have a gazillion people that
In
are
town.
in town. And that's on the way out of town. Why wouldn't they stop?
You could
You know,
also have
it-
vendors, you could have a raffle, you could have fundraisers to raise
You know,
money for it.
if you turned it into something that makes it less expensive to put on. And, you know, the biker rally, just force the promoter to accept a little bit more cost, you know, and the agreement might work.
The problem is we can't call it a air show. We have to call it something like a
fly-in?
fly-in.
Or a
And
demonstration.
then we can have some flyovers
Yeah, well,
quietly, but
not unless you get an aerobatic box. And a waivered airspace. So.
we'd
I
have
don't
to
know,
look into
is
what
there-
we did a few years ago.
Who
But-
does the air show? Is there like an air show committee or anybody that handles that? Or is it just on the airport manager or?
I'm not sure. I wasn't here for the last air show. I didn't start working till right after that, so.
You know,
The
Dave?
air show, it's the air show staff.
Oh, there is like an air show staff committee.
That's the staff, that's the airport staff. That's me, Liz, Ronnie, and Adam.
Oh, okay.
It was Mike.
All four of
That's
us?
it. We're the ones that put it on.
Are you the chairman?
No.
I was involved in about all 8 of those air shows, and it's an enormous amount of work, and there's about 20 people involved in setting it all up. It's a lot of
You're
work.
right. It is a lot of work.
No, I know. My dad had to get a bunch of guys to come in and do things and whatnot. But so do you guys have any plans on doing anything anytime soon, Tony?
Not, we're still on this COVID thing, and fireworks is kind of iffy with over 300 acres worth of really dry land. and we're in a drought. So next year's a little iffy, but maybe the year after.
You don't like to live dangerously, or?
No, thank you. And the FAA doesn't accept it either.
Okay, good enough.
So if fireworks and an air show are off the table really for next year, should we just concentrate on the 110th fly-in?
Makes sense.
It's a smaller event. People just coming in.
We could have, a car show, motorcycles or
Yeah,
other stuff like
bring
that
in
that
a
brings
car.
in different kinds of
I think
people.
Tony's done that in the past. Tony, in
Yes.
the past, you've invited like a car club or whatever, and they.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Yeah, the lawn at Sabrisa's.
Yes, we
Okay.
did do that.
So I think we need to figure out when the 110th is for the next meeting.
The date, okay,
Continue this conversation.
got it.
Good flying.
I think the city's doing something next year in August for 150 years for Hollister. I think they're gonna try to do some fireworks someplace. I know they're trying to get something together in August. That's about all I know.
Okay. Everyone happy? Old business. New business.
For new business, I actually have, I'll be heading to Vegas for the NBAA conference with the city manager, October 10th. So next meeting we'll have, maybe some fun info for you at least.
Does everyone know what NBAA stands for? It's the National Business Aviation Association Convention.
Yes. Thank you.
I was wondering if maybe we could put an item on the next agenda that maybe you could give us an overview of what happens at those conventions. I know that Hollister, each city, or I don't know if it's every city, has a booth. Hollister usually has a booth, and I've never got to see how it works or what it looks like. I know Mike Chambliss was going to give us an overview, and I'm not sure what happened, but if there was any way to take a video or do some pictures
I can
and
do some, I
just
think,
give us a,
Did you guys share the booth with Hollister down there? You're going? So do you share a booth with us, Hollister, or do you have your own booth?
We volunteer.
Oh, you volunteer. Gotcha. Okay. Just curious. Well, you might be able to find out from them because you've gone in the past, no?
just remember that the people on the screen can't see who you're talking to.
I'm talking to the Hollister Jet Center representatives. So they're the only people there. There's no camera. We can't do the Paul. We can't show them on the camera.
Public.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, Renee, if you want some information, you might want to talk to Dave. And they've been to him in the past. They could probably give you a pretty good rundown.
I just thought it would be good for all of us to have kind of an overview of what happens at those conventions, what kind of advertisement you do for Hollister, for the airport, and what kind of return you get, if you get return on it, like like we did the Super Bowl thing where we got people flying in to park their jets at Hollister. I don't know if that came from there or if they just knew about Hollister Airport. It would just be interesting to know if it's beneficial to have the booth
Okay.
and the outcomes of that.
Definitely.
Thank you.
I wonder if there'd be for items for next agenda, if there's any point in trying to discuss what the future impacts could be when Reed Hillview closes.
Oh, jeez.
One of my items.
Oh, sorry.
No, I mean, for the next.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
I was up in Palo Alto last Friday and I was talking to one of the line guys there and they said they've already had 80 applications just for the ramp.
Let's put it on the agenda if you want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I know there's information on the Reed Hillview website, and it seems like they've said that they've referred a lot of people to San Martin, and I didn't notice that Hollister was even mentioned, and I think it would just be a really good viable option.
Yeah, because we may need that CAL FIRE spot for more hangars.
Well, I think that they're gonna go to another county airport. Santa Clara County is gonna go to another county airport before they send people to us. You know, because
We've had a lot of people call us regarding hangar availability that are leaving Reed Hillview. Of course, we don't have anything available. And we've also had inquiries about building out at the airport. But that's as far as we've gotten is inquiries. Nobody's actually pulled the plug on that one.
I know San Martin's not at full capacity.
No, but I was thinking more of the businesses that are the different aviation schools and other businesses that are there that might be looking for space. We don't have any, aviation schools at Hollister. I don't know why we haven't had one in a long time. We only have a couple instructors.
Yeah, well, Hollister Jet Center offers flight instruction.
They do offer flight instruction. I'm just talking about there are other,
Like a high volume flight school.
just thinking of options from Reed Hillview that might want to go, be centrally located. We have the best weather, better than Watsonville, which doesn't have any hangar space. One of my thoughts was that there are federal grants, I think, to remove the old buildings that are full of asbestos. I think that if we could get grants to do that, I don't know. I know in the past, Tony probably remembers, there was a time when we were looking into that. It's been a really long time, but
Renee, you just, I'm actually having somebody come out tomorrow to do the asbestos testing on those buildings because we are looking to demo them.
yay. All right. Good.
You read my mind.
I mean,
I didn't tell her, Tony.
Is there
That's
some
really
kind of
good.
money available for that?
Yeah.
Tony,
Yes,
is there some kind of grant money available for that?
nope. The city manager requested it because we're demoing some other buildings. And so we're going to do them all at the same time.
Good.
Tony, how many buildings is it?
Well, there's one big, huge building, which is building 15, which is out in the center. And that has like 15A, 15B. And then there's a building 14, which is right on Mars. So there's those two buildings, and then there's two little sheds. So that's all going to be demoed. It's already all been reviewed, and tomorrow they're going to start doing the testing on all that building.
is there any thought to the use of that space?
No, we haven't gotten that far yet. I have heard there's people that might be interested in building out at the airport.
Right. That's what I'm thinking of. Some of the businesses at Reed Hillview might want to locate in a different place if, it's costly to go south. And so, north. It's less expensive to come central. So I just think it'd be a good opportunity.
Let's put the status of these buildings on the next agenda.
Is it possible to get a copy of the master plan for the airport? Just a map?
Yes, we can do that.
I
Yeah.
think it's on the
for next-
website.
For the next meeting.
I think the master plan is on the website.
Yes, it is.
You can click on it. It's easily PDF file.
I think it's the airport layout plan that's on there.
I think there's a couple of different ones, but
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm just curious if anybody's approved anything lately for any of the surrounding properties that have over the fence agreements.
No,
Nobody's updated it or nobody's done anything or what?
no, that's another thing. Okay. I am currently working with our consultants on an agreement for through the fence. There's nothing, it's a slow process because it's a review back and forth until we get something that's agreed upon between property owners and city and lawyers. So I just started it. So everybody's looks like they're reading my mind.
Yeah.
I know that was one of my items on the next agenda.
What are you doing, Renee? Have you got the office bugged?
I guess so.
But we can update you guys on that too.
I understand Bob ends, this is the first of the through the fence agreements.
Yeah, and there is no agreement until we get
Arrangement, I guess.
arrangement. Yeah,
Okay.
it's going to be a slow process, but we'll get there.
So does Win have a through the fence agreement or no?
No, I don't have anybody with that name.
The northeast quadrant between 2-4 and 3-1.
Nope, nobody with that name.
No Win, huh?
No win.
Okay.
These items have to be on the agenda to discuss, people.
I just want to add one thing before we get too far. Renee, regarding the agreement with the vendor for the signs, it wasn't in the agreement about that sign and the size and stuff. It was an email that went back and forth from Cheryl to the vendor. And I have requested those emails from the vendor because I never saw, none of us ever saw anything that was approved.
Thank you.
So I will let you know when I get that because I still haven't. I requested them, but I still have not seen those emails.
Thanks, Tony. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I had one question about to put an item on the next agenda for the Hollister layout plan update. I think the last one was 2018. Is that, is an update of that being considered in the next?
Oh, it is on our agenda, but it's not going to be until I think we've moved it to 2028 or 2027.
Wow.
I know. We've got other projects. So yes, we have moved it and we can update you on that also. I'm working with the FAA on our grant program and what our projects that are coming up for the next 5 years.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have one other item for the next agenda. I'm not sure if anyone knows what a commercial spaceport is. Paso Robles has decided to move forward with a commercial spaceport. I don't have all the information with me now, but there's only 12 in the United States, and it sounds very interesting. I just don't know what the FAA requirements are. There's no cost to do it. It's just the cost of having one available and built at your airport. But it is a good source of income because you have businesses that market different kinds of products for these spaceports and space vehicles. It's vertical, not, yeah. they're different than regular space. It's not a spaceship. It's like things that go to ships and come back and bring products and that sort of thing. Anyway, I'd like to get more information and maybe we can discuss it at a future meeting. I guess no one's heard of it.
Never heard of it.
You have, yeah.
Different language there. Okay.
Everyone was very quiet.
Space Force, yeah, okay.
And now I'll be quiet.
Oh, no, Renee, you're okay.
Do we want to bring over everything from reports to the next meeting as well? A to E? Sense. We'll get an update on all 5 items.
Maybe under CAL FIRE status update, we can have an update on 2 items under there, one for the Nighthawk or whatever it's called, and one for the CAL FIRE lease, or,
Yeah, we'll get Brett. We'll get Brett over there and do a
okay,
talk on it. Yeah.
perfect.
That sounds like a full meeting for next. Does anybody have anything else they want to add for next month?
I was thinking maybe a answer question thing on airport maintenance. If any of us want to come up with things we want to discuss.
And then you have all the items that I had, the overview of the NBAA convention, Reed Hill View, through the
Master plan.
master plan, through the fence arrangement, and removal of old buildings.
Yes.
Yeah, just for the record, I did map all those old buildings out there and had a bid for $1 million to demo them all. Was half of what Mike added at. So it's a lot of money.
Remove that asbestos.
No action items? Then the next meeting is October 27th, 2021 at 6 PM.
Is that for my benefit?
One last comment. How do we get a copy of this airport manager description?
I'll send it to you.
Tony's gonna email it to us.
Yeah, I'll email it to you first thing tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
My motion would adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Bye, Fred. Bye, Tony.
See
Bye-bye.
you guys later.
All right.
Show up, I gotta hit it twice.